I haven't been in here forever, since I was like a little kid or something. It's only because my parents made me come.
Totally. Let's hope it's not still lame-o and boring.
Welcome to Holy Grounds, home of the new, however you want it, religion Frappuccino. Best Frappuccino in the world, but not of it.
Can we get a second, please?
Sure.
Seconds up. Time's over.
It was a fast second. It went quick. Okay, I'm ready. Can I get a God who is mighty? But let's go easy with the demands.
So easy, a caveman could do it.
Dude, again, 2 for 2. Yeah, shoots, he scores.
All right, no problem.
And I'm gonna do the same, only sprinkle a little bit of forgiveness on there. Forgiveness.
Ooh, can I get that too? I want that also.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said.
Is there anything else I can get y'all?
Yeah. Make mine as skinny because I want a light relationship.
Totally. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're kind of busy.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to me right now.
Hurry.
I'm here. I'm already here.
No.
Talk to me.
No.
Dog, anywhere you want to walk the
Busy.
Don't ask
Busy.
me.
Gotta go.
Shush.
Bye.
Anything else I can get for you?
Do you have any condiments?
Do you mean condemnation?
That's what he said, frat boy. Clean out your ears.
Yeah, that's
Too
what
much
I
whipped
said.
cream.
All right, y'all gonna want to grande size your religion today?
No.
You watch your mouth.
Wait, I mean, we don't want people thinking we're weird or
Do
something.
we look weird? Flying
All right.
feet.
Does this look
Ducks
weird?
in a row.
Does that look weird?
Biceps, shoulders,
Hey,
triceps.
this
Work
here?
them all out. Nothing's
This
weird
here?
about this.
Let's go find a seat in the back.
Oh, nice. They've got music too.
And it's contemporary.
Nice.
So one day we were in class and the topic of homosexuality came up. And so as we were discussing the homosexual topic, it just got really heated in there. And then this atheist came in and he was like, y'all are so judgmental on homosexuals and this and that. I thought y'all were Christians. Doesn't the Bible say not to judge people and things like that? And he was like, that's why I don't believe in the Bible and that's why I'm not a Christian, because y'all just judge people and y'all sit here and say that that's a sin, but y'all are sitting here sinning yourselves. So they were kind of just like messing with us about it. And he was kind of saying that we're like the worst Christians he ever met and different things like that just because we were sticking up for what we believed in. My friends, they were all being like very defensive about it and argumentative towards him while I was trying to be real calm because it was a very tense environment and it was just like really heated. So I find it real hard to talk about my faith in school because most people, when I do talk about my faith, it becomes an argument and it becomes like me trying to defend my faith. Sometimes I do feel like I don't want to share my faith because it's just really like I'm tired of trying to defend it and then it's not getting anywhere and they're not accepting it and they just have their own beliefs, and it makes me reevaluate my faith and wonder if what I'm actually saying is true and makes me question myself. Sometimes I do feel like I don't have enough information or I don't know enough to actually try to defend my faith, and so that's why I really stray in the background most times, unless I feel like I can pull it up on my phone right then and there, or if I know where to find it or something like that. If I don't know where anything is to defend my faith, I feel like I don't say much. Most people that I used to know when I grew up with them in elementary school and junior high, they were so strong into their faith, and then as they got older in high school, they kind of gave up. So sometimes I evaluate, why am I still believing in God? And like, why the God that they were so strongly passionate about, why is he not there present now while they're doing all the things they're doing in high school? So I get discouraged a little.
Where is God? we see him in the splendor of a sunset. We sense his glory on the mountaintop. We know he is enthroned in the heavenlies. But these are not his only dwelling places. He is also found in the fiery furnace, in the belly of a whale, in the lion's den, in the prison cell, on stormy seas. He is there in the dark watches of the night. He is at rock bottom. He is there at the end of the rope, even in the valley of the shadow of death. Where is God? He dwells in the place where you need him most.
Hi, welcome to McFaith, where you can have it your way right away. Would you like to try one of our new multi-religion combos?
No thanks. Oh, can I have a God who is mighty? But can you go easy on the demands?
Oh,
Sure.
Can we have like a side of forgiveness?
Yeah, a lot of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Hey, I love him.
What else?
Can you make this a light relationship, please, man? Because we're pretty busy. Hey.
Yo.
Talk to
Anything
me.
else?
Yeah, can you hold the condiments?
Do you mean hold the condemnation?
Adjust your headphones, hairnet. That's what he said.
Okay, that's what I said.
You want to supersize your religion?
No way. We don't want people to think we're weird or anything.
Did someone say McFaith?
Jump around now. Jump up and get down.
When I was 16, I met a boy. We dated for a while, and I told him that I believed in God. And I was like, hey, look, we can't do anything sexual. I had a covenant, that's what I called it. I said, I need to remain pure before God, and we can't do anything. I was making music in the industry. I knew a lot of people, and that was my life's goal, to really make a name for myself. I remember one time being in the studio, I wrote something about God, and they would tell me, you can't rap about God in your music, like that. You just can't do that, it won't sell. Start writing about having sex even though you've never had sex. So I started writing about sexual actions that I've never even had previous to that. I felt like if I didn't speak of sex, then I wouldn't get signed. I felt like I would never be successful. If I have to speak of sex and downgrade myself or act like someone I'm not, then I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Although it did attract attention, it was a lot of heartbreaking attention. Shortly after I started making music about sexual relations and all types of sexual actions, I started becoming sexually active. After it happened, I was just left in a broken place. I went to a cousin of mine's house, and she was a Christian, and she invited me the next month to Christ Tabernacle. The preaching that day was just too close to my heart. I knew that it was just time for a change, and I needed it really badly. I just always felt a deep conviction when I was doing things I wasn't supposed to do. Like, I just was like, God wouldn't be happy. I took about a year or so to really grow in God and read my word and really change myself from the inside out. I knew that if I was going to do music for His glory, people would be looking at me and I couldn't fake where I was at with God. I knew if I wanted to be used, I would really have to be serious about Him. It hasn't been easy at all, but I know that I have God, so I always have a peace that I don't even understand. I just know God is with me.
Shortly after Corbin was born, the intensivist on the call at that time walked out and said, "Your baby has severe congenital heart disease." Tons of prayers and prayer vigils and people coming up there to the ICU and all that. 4 days later, he had open heart surgery. His heart was fixed. He thrived off the charts, weight, height, and he was doing really, really well. Well, at 8 months, he went for another routine checkup. The cardiologist said he's got another rare disease called pulmonary hypertension. Unlike the first one, where you can fix it, there is no cure for this and there's really no good treatment. Most kids that have this will die sooner than later. But we just felt like God's hand was somehow in this. Just knew in my heart, it's like, you know, I trust God. I just do. I trust God with it. During the middle of this conversation, here comes a nurse that comes scrambling in and whispers something into the ear of Dr. Case. And he said, Corbin is just coded, which means he had heart failure. He said that they had given him epinephrine to get the heart going again, but it didn't look good. And he said, you may want to just go tell your son goodbye.
And so we went into the heart cath lab. Just instinctively, I just laid my body over his, and I just prayed, you can take me if you'll leave him. Like, if there's a way that I'm laying my body over his, and you can take the breath out of me and put it into him, I'll be forever grateful. I just remember at the time going, okay, God, if I'm missing something, if there is anything that you're waiting on from us, just say the word. If there's any way that I can pray harder, that I can believe more, that I can, if you're waiting on anything from me, would you show me? And I'll do it. And so I remember just heart bare before the Lord saying, God, you name it and we'll do it. You're just desperate for your baby to be healed.
Every story that I felt like God was leading me to was going, have faith, believe. I would hear Luke 8 in my head, and it says, prayer offered in faith will make a sick person well. We called the elders of the church. We anointed with oil, and we prayed in faith. I was convinced he was going to heal him. I mean, he was going to live. I thought I heard God. If this isn't God, I don't know if I've ever heard him. Over the course of the next 5-6 days, he got better instead of getting worse. And we would wean off this, and he would get better. We would wean off that, and he would get better. And no one could explain it.
It's almost as if God said, okay, enough already. I hear your prayers, you know. And so after 53 days at Cook's, the baby with 0% chance rolled out in a little red wagon. And it was truly a miracle.
Doctors thought he'd be back in ICU within days. And he turned 1, and then he turned 2. And celebrating his second birthday was just unbelievable. Shortly after his second birthday, all of a sudden his symptoms kind of started coming back with a vengeance. And one night, he was really, really fussy, and I couldn't console him, and he wouldn't stop crying. And I just held him, and bless his heart, he got really, really tired, and you could just tell he was feeling really, really bad. And I just started praying, and Corbin, during the middle of my prayer, just stopped breathing.
I just remember going, so this is it.
It was like after all of this time of prayer and fasting and prayer vigils and this miracle story, this was it. This was God's answer. What you thought would always work just didn't work.
You know, I was like, what part of this makes sense at all? I know that your spirit is so close. And then all of a sudden, you almost feel like wait a minute, where are you now? You know, are my prayers hitting the ceiling? Like, are you listening? Hello? You know, you really wonder, like, is you know, God even coinciding with any of this?
You know, I know you're there, but I can't feel you, I can't see you, I can't hear you. Please, before I go crazy, please, will you give me something? Will you come and give me a little hope?
There were just days I just felt empty. But on those days, it's hard to explain. I knew that I wasn't alone.
What is prayer? Stale tradition, ritual, a good luck charm, part of some religious checklist, done to appease a higher being so we can get what we want, or at least avoid the lightning bolt. Prayer has been redefined and twisted and confused, but at its essence, prayer is simply talking to God. The God who spoke the universe into creation, who gives us life and breath, who holds all things together. This God wants us to talk to him. In the vastness of all that exists, he actually cares about us, personally, individually. How can we not pray to such a loving God? Wherever we are, how can we not thank him for what he's done, or cry out when we need help, when we need forgiveness, when we're afraid, when we give thanks for our blessing or question where our next meal will come from? Why would we live a life apart from him? It's not about formula. How could any posture or well-chosen word impress the author of time and space? It's simple obedience. God has made himself available to us. He wants to hear from us. He wants us to trust in him, to acknowledge our dependence on him, to draw near to the one who loved us first. Approaching with confidence because Christ has torn away the veil. He's washed away the sin that kept us from his presence. And we live in relationship with our Lord. And so we ask that his kingdom come, his will be done on earth and in our lives as it is in heaven. That is prayer.
There's a story in the Bible about Saul and his son Jonathan, and they're at war with the Philistines, and they're in real trouble. They only have two weapons, two swords. Saul has one, Jonathan has the other. The Philistines have them outmanned and outpowered, and so Saul doesn't want to go to war, and he's procrastinating. He knows exactly what to do, but he doesn't do it. So in the middle of the night, Jonathan wakes up his armor bearer, and he says to him, "Let's go over to the Philistine side." And what I love about this particular moment is that Jonathan didn't know whether he would succeed. He didn't know if he would fail. He didn't know if God would give him victory or whether he would die in the effort. He just knew that sleeping through life was not the solution. It was not an option. So he got up and he picked a fight. He went to accomplish what God wanted to get done. He didn't know if in this moment God would come through, but he knew that somebody just needed to do something. A significant part of our spiritual journey is that we just have to take initiative. We can't just sit passively by. There is so much good to do, so many opportunities, so many things that if we were proactive and took initiative, could see God work through our lives. I think we use prayer as an excuse not to act. I think we use a sense at times of waiting on the Lord, but really what's going on is that God is waiting on us. Sometimes the best advice we can get is to act, to just do something.
Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. What does it mean to commit? When you sit in a chair, you commit your personal safety to that chair. When you drive over a bridge, or put money in a bank, or get on a plane, you are putting your trust in something or someone. The more you trust, the more you are willing to commit. To enter the kingdom of God, we must become like little children. A child completely trusts his parents. We have something more reliable than any parent, more trustworthy than any bank, and more stable than any chair. We have a God who has promised to never leave us or forsake us.
Like a car that doesn't drive. A traveler who never leaves town. Or paint that is never used. So is the man of faith who does no good deeds. A light without power. A well without water. Faith without works. These are all the same. Food that never reaches the hungry. A cure never administered. Love never shared. Faith without action. How can these things change the world?